picture of calm.
Yeah, I mean, that's that. People often say I'm a lot like a Buddhist monk, but I think that's the hairdo. So
I get told I'm laid back, and I'm like exploding inside. I don't know how it works.
Many of you are here. Oh my God, there's more people coming in. No pressure, Jesus.
Tanique, just what you want to do is get some masking tape, put it along the bottom of the monitor, and just imagine you're talking to Matt, not me, because Matt's nice, a lot nicer than me.
I know you longer than Matt. Although
Hi, good evening, guys.
Hi.
hello.
Although Matt
So we'll
doesn't
just
get
give
that calming
everyone-
effect.
Yeah, that's what I ooze. Is calming effect. So we'll just give everyone a few minutes to jump in and let the room fill up, and we'll kick off in about 5 or so minutes. But yeah, it's always nice to see so many people. It's one of those things of you never know whether people are getting event fatigue, especially with virtual events. I suppose it's the start of a new year, so everyone's refreshed from Christmas and New Year's, and they're all ready to start learning again and excited. Maybe that's just me.
I need to learn something, so
One of these days.
one of the days it will sink in.
Yeah.
Mr. Billy.
You're on
Hey,
my
guys.
hit list of people that I want to come speak here about something.
Hear me?
Yeah, Jay.
So you're not going to get away from it for too much longer without actually imparting some knowledge. Hey, Paddy. Hey, Andy.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hey, guys. I had a bit of trouble
Okay.
finding the link. Sorry. I found it on Slack in the end.
I tried to post it everywhere.
I don't know if that will stop anybody else.
My phone is not connecting to my WhatsApp. Phone is not connected to my computer anymore, so my WhatsApp's not going out. There we go. Maybe, who knows? See, I'm a little bit worried now because I don't usually. Usually it's me and Joe and Dirk, and it's just me and Dirk tonight. And we have the leader of the UK, Andy, here. So best make sure that I don't slag off the Dynamics communities too much at the start of this.
Oh, no, go for it, mate. Go for it. Yeah, no, wouldn't worry about that.
Right, so we'll just give people a couple more minutes and then we will start.
Is there anything to sort of talk about with what's going on with them at the moment? Or am I just putting my foot in it?
No. I mean, you've probably seen the new website.
Okay.
No. If you want to look at mydacfeed.com, then you probably be able to tell what's going on. And yeah, that's why we're using Eventbrite right now.
So. I mean, I can kind of get into it. They said to sign up, just reset your password. So click reset. It says okay, you'll have 15 minutes from when you click this button to reset your password, and I got the email 24 hours later. So then did it again, and then it only took 18 hours to do it the second time. So that was an improvement. This is being recorded, so don't worry. We'll cut this out.
Yeah. I've been this bit.
Okay, well, we're nearly at 5 past, so I think we shall kick things off. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. It is a pleasure to see you all, however virtually it is. Thank you for joining us at our local user group, which is virtual and now global because it's virtual. We are here. We've got some great speakers tonight. And we're going to be going through things. So hopefully you guys should be able to see the slides. And if not, just shout at me. So welcome to instructions. So we will be welcoming 3 speakers tonight. We have Latoya and Tanique, and we also have Andrew, who will be talking about various topics. Tanique and Latoya are going to be talking about how the Power Platform can aid user adoption in finance and operation projects. This is a fascinating topic. I know probably a lot of people on this call don't do finance and operations, but User adoption is something we all do, and the Power Platform is something that we probably all do. So if nothing else, we'll learn about that. I'm hoping to learn a bit about finance and operations at the same time. No pressure, you guys. And we have the 11-time MVP Andrew Butenko, who's going to be showing us some awesome PCF controls that you can use in your projects as well. So I'm very excited to have him here today to talk to us. And then at the end, we'll have some time for questions. So just a few virtual meeting tips. These are things that you're probably used to by now, but please mute yourself if you're not speaking. Please put your questions in the chat and we'll try and bring them up. We'll ask the speakers about whether they want to have questions throughout and we can interject, or whether they'll have time for questions at the end. We do have a hand raising feature as well, so you can come off mute and chat to people. Turn off your webcam if you want to. This is being recorded. If you do not agree to be recorded, please disconnect now, and we will, state your name before speaking, and also turn up your volume and speak clearly. So all things that you really know already. So let's start off with some introductions. So I am Matt Collins-Jones, also known as MTJ. Definitely need to update this slide because I'm not a senior consultant anymore. That's by the by. Joe Griffin, who was double booked tonight, so we will slag him off as much as we like, because he's not here to defend himself, but he sends his apologies, and he did a great job at coordinating this. And we also have Dirk Cuthbertson, who is the other member of our committee that brought you this amazing event this evening. I'm already calling it amazing. We're 10 minutes in, but I can feel the energy in the room, and we're going to be great. So introduction. So this is something we like to do at the in-person UGs, just to try and get an understanding of who's here and what you do and things like that. So we'd like to do some introductions. So if you guys want to put your hand up and you can come off mute, and we can introduce a couple of people. So all you need to do is state your name, state your company and what your role is, what you hope to gain from today's meeting, and if you were a fruit, what sort of fruit would you be? So I'll go first. I am Matt Collins-Jones, also known as MTJ. I work for a company called TSG here in the UK. I am a solution architect for Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. I hope to gain a lot of awesome knowledge from the speakers that we've got today, because I've been super excited to hear about the user adoption stuff from Latoya and Tanique, and also the PCF controls from Andrew. So I am looking to gain some super knowledge today. If I was a fruit, what sort of fruit? I would be a pineapple, because pineapple is great. Pineapple goes great on pizza. It goes great in curry. It goes great in burger. I had pineapple this evening on some jalapeno veggie burgers. It was delicious. I don't know what everyone's problem with pineapple is. And Malin agrees. Hey, Malin.
Yes.
I saw you coming with the nodding of the head while Rob and Andy are there shaking their heads in disgust. But no, we are pro pineapple at this UG, and if you don't like it, tough. So is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves today? Tell me who you are, what your company and role is, what you want to get from today, and also what sort of fruit would you be if you were a fruit? Anyone?
Do you have to go on camera?
No, you don't have to go on camera.
Yay! Okay, so my name's Trisha. I don't have a company and a role as of 12 o'clock today, but from Monday, I'll be a solution advisor for customer service at Avanade. And what I hope to gain from today's meeting, two things. One, I love PCF controls. The thing is, I don't get to do them a lot. So seeing masters at play like Andrew is always a treat. And then secondly, we've got Latoya and Tanique, who I'm desperate to see present and learn as much as I can about user adoption. And if I were a fruit, I would be, yeah, this one needs more thinking. I think I'd be an apple.
An apple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because an apple actually acclimatizes to the location. You've got different types of apple depending on which climate you're in, which means that it's adaptable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No. Plus the apple seeds you can use to make cyanide and poison your enemies.
Yeah, exactly. You can poison people. It's perfect.
Not that I know how to kill people in several different ways. This isn't being recorded, right? Thank you, Trisha. Is there anyone else who'd like to do an introduction? Come on, someone.
I can go if you want, Matt. Yeah. Do you want me to go, Matt?
Yeah.
Or is there someone else? Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Barker. I work for Power Objects. I'm what's lovingly known as a dog's body. I'm here today really to heckle Tanique and learn about PCF. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to the PCF part, and obviously Tanique's part, very much so, Tanique. If I were a fruit, it'd have to be grapes, I think, just purely because you can make it into wine, so it's got some use. Yeah.
Nice. And I like the idea of having multi-uses. Right, if one more person introduces themselves, I will stop this and we'll move on. So I just want one more person to introduce themselves today. I don't mind who.
I can go with one.
Oh, two. On you go.
I can be quiet since I've already spoken today.
No, come on.
Hi, Malin Magnus. I work at Knowit in Oslo as a head of Dynamics 365. I look forward to hearing Tanique's presentation. That's actually why I came. Our fruit. Well, I do love pineapple, so we're going with pineapple.
Pineapple wins. You heard it here first, guys. Pineapple wins. Okay, thank you very much, Malin, and thank you, Trisha and Jamie as well. And with that, I will carry on with this presentation this evening. So we do have a CRM UG Twitter handle. We also have a hashtag as well if you want to follow along. The code in the bottom right hand corner is for feedback. I'll also drop a feedback link into the chat as well. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our first presentation. We have Latoya and Tanique, who will be talking about how the Power Platform can aid user adoption for finance and operations projects. So I just want to check, whoever might be sharing slides, can you guys take over the share?
Yes, I'll be sharing. All right, so thanks a lot for that handover, Matt. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. All right then, awesome. So let me just start sharing. And whilst I'll be sharing, guys, unfortunately, I'm going to be turning off my camera just for the time of the presentation. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Can everyone see the slides?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So hello again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Tanique and I are super excited to, present our perspective on how the Power Platform can aid user adoption for finance and operations projects. I will introduce myself and then I'll hand over to Tanique to introduce herself. So who am I? I've got many accolades, but those that I'm most proud of right now is I'm a mom of 2 millennials. I love sci-fi series, notably Altered Carbon and anything to do with vampires. I'm a vampire addict. Due to COVID right now, I am watching Korean, Japanese series because I love animes and I hate chocolate. If I were to be a fruit, I know there are those pineapple fanatics out there, but I'm a mango girl. Mango, I put it everywhere. I drink it. You know, if I could spend my entire life as a mango, that would be it, because of course I am a Caribbean national, Jamaican born, and it's a tropical fruit, makes you a lot of fun. So that's me in terms of what I'm currently doing as a business change consultant. And, I've held former roles and positions within the industry. So Tanique, over to you.
Thank you, Latoya. And wow, mango. Ugh, all right. Okay. So, I'm Tanique Williams. I'm a learning consultant with Power Objects. And my background is finance and operation. And since of late, I've been dabbling in the Power Platform, which I find very awesome. I'm a mom of 2, and I've got a black belt in kickboxing. So be nice to us today. So that's me. My favorite food is kiwi. So yeah.
All right.
And back
Awesome.
over to you, Latoya.
All right. Thanks, guys. So in terms of how we'll share this presentation, I'll start with an overview of, the adoption success rate on project implementations. I'll then, give a brief overview of Ethanol, which will then help us to segue into Tanique's topics. And Tanique will be presenting us with an overview of the new kid on the block, the Power Platform. She'll then take us through, a few typical challenges encountered on Ethanol projects with a few scenarios to take us through and to build that journey and story. I will then jump back in. I'll then jump back in, with a few takeaways and recommendations for user adoption. Now, we'll try to respect the timing as best as possible. So we're going to ask you to save your questions for the end of the presentation. All right. So first, we're going to start with a quick survey. Tanique, if you can drop that link in the chat, is that possible for you right now?
It's done.
All right, awesome. So guys, what we're going to be asking of you is via the link, if you can, in one word, just identify what does adoption mean to you. So I'm giving you guys 30 seconds starting now to send across your words. Awesome. So those are coming across right now. Tanique, let us know if we've hit the 30 seconds yet.
Yep. Amazing. Someone say embarrassing.
All right, awesome.
Embracing, okay.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got embracing, successful, usable, challenges. Yeah, that's a big one. Challenges, success. All right. So we've seen, the words that you have submitted and that are continuing to submit, but we want to, share our meaning of what adoption is to us. So we're going to go back to the presentation, and here we're going to define what user adoption is for us right now. So to us, user adoption is the process by which new users become accustomed to a product or service and decide to keep using it. And we'll place the emphasis on users deciding, to keep using the new technology until it forms an integral part of their daily habits, which actually means for us that there are no return to the old ways of doing things. That, most of us who've been on FNX, it's how can we get rid of excess user adoption will return to the old ways of doing things. And then we also put in place measures to help you hold to the the brand accompaniment, that holding of hands. And then, of course, we also look to align project management. There's always the ongoing war between project management and change management, and we need to know when to use what and giving each its role to play. So we need to understand project management actually gets the job done, while change management gets new behaviors adopted. And what we're actually saying, therefore, is that user adoption affects the return on investment of every project, and that the ROI of adoption is the ROI of the project. But what does that actually mean on F&O projects right now? Let's look at what the numbers and the research is actually, telling us. So this slide and this image is kind of like a frightening revelation of the success of our work. We are still struggling as implementers, as advisors, to build and maintain systems which are successfully adopted. Based on the image that we've got, it's research done by ProSci, one of, the recognized change management, associations here in the UK, is that if we've put in place proper change management strategies, then our projects are 6 times more likely to be successful. And that actually means we're focusing on adoption being the end result. So a successful project implementation is reinforced by sustainable user adoption. So what does this mean for F&O implementations? Let's have a quick review of what is F&O. So I first came across F&O in like 2015, thereabouts, when I just moved over to the UK. Okay, and I was like, what is this all about? And then I came to understand that it was a solution, a technology that afforded business to address core enterprise functions, across their business, and that it also, helps to provide end-to-end business solutions to cover all major departments. So basically getting everybody to sing from the same song sheet. Sometimes my French and my English gets mixed up. So if the acronym isn't the same, please forgive me. But what it actually means is that, as we can see, F&O is broken down with 4 major bodies. You've got commerce, you've got HR, and then the F&O area that we knew previously over the years, it's now been separated into supply chain management and finance. All right. So what we're looking at now is, what does this mean for project implementations as we know them today? Compared to CRM projects, FinOps projects can last for years, incurring lots of user adoption issues as a result of gaps, which, we have to admit it does exist in the solution, right? So at this point in time, I'm going to be handing over back to Tanique, where I'll invite her to continue the discussion to highlight those gaps in the FinOps projects. Tanique?
Thank you, Latoya. Just check everyone can hear me. I know we had some network issues just now. Yeah. Perfect.
I can hear you.
Okay, amazing. Okay. So the FinOps gap. So as we know it, finance and operation is not always 100% vanilla. Okay. Oftentimes there are business processes and gaps. But for these gaps, we've got development options within finance and operations that we can use, such as deployable packages, for example. These can be developed in Visual Studio. And whilst we can utilize these deployable packages, we can also utilize the Power Platform to aid and help to fill these gaps. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah. So the new kid on the block, that's the Power Platform. And I always laugh because, and even Latoya laugh when I explain this to my kids, because I'm at home now, as you all know. They always hear me talking about the Power Platform, and my 5-year-old is like, Mom, what is it? So how best I explain it to her is the Power Platform is Microsoft's superhero of business application development. Okay, so it's a platform that is low code, allowing all users, no matter who you are, to design and use custom apps across various devices. And she seems to get that. She nodded her, I hope she does anyway. She nods her head and she seems like she understands what I'm talking about. So on the Power Platform, obviously, we've got the Power BI, which we can use for operational reports in finance and operations. We've got Power Apps, which we can create a Power App to simplify data on finance projects. We've also got Power Automate, which we can use to connect and streamline workflow processes to our finance and operations. We've got PVA, and what we basically use this for within Finapps is basically to integrate with our wikis and also to streamline training for like learning consultants like myself. Okay. And sitting below the Power Platform, as majority of you know, we've got data connectors and AI builders, and we've got the magic of Microsoft Dataverse. Okay. So AI Builder is turnkey solution for developers. And for me, I always say the data connector is like a bridge between your data source, your apps, and your workflow. You know, and your Dataverse, obviously, we know that is what the Power Platform live and breathe on. Okay, it's scalable. It integrates your data with your business application. Can we have the next slide, please? Thank you. But also with this Power Platform magic, we have things like dual write. And for those who are not familiar with dual write, okay, dual write is built in a finance and operation, but it's designed to work with the common data service. And it provides, from, as you can see from the picture, it provides a bidirectional integration between finance and operation and your data service. I keep on saying common data service. Sorry, guys, I know it's Dataverse. So I know you're going to jump on me and say, well, you know, that's not what it's named anymore, but apologies. I'm still there. Okay. So you can use your HR application, for example. And if you deploy your HR application on, say, the same Dataverse as you use your customer engagement application, that's one way that obviously we can use. Come on, I keep saying Dynamic CRM. Okay, fair enough. All right, then, cool. As I said, we can use our HR application and we can connect that via to our CE platform, and then we can use dual write to speak between both applications. We've got also virtual entities. And virtual entities are basically expose your public data and all your finance and operation data into the Dataverse, okay? So there are no number of ways that the virtual entities, once that data is available in CDS, I think a perfect example that I've seen on the housing project that I've been on since I've been working at Power Objects is, for example, if we've got the C platform, it might leverage virtual entities by way of viewing credit information, for example. So instead of syncing over the Dataverse, create or extend the customer service app or the sales app to include information about accounts such as credit limits and also dunning letters. Customers be able to see the dunning letters. Okay, next slide, please, Latoya. So now we're moving into some of the challenges that we've faced on finance and operation projects. Okay, and the first challenge is Ssrs reporting. And I know most of you are C guys, you probably have no clue like what SSR, you probably know what it is, but probably haven't experienced this. But one of the issues that we found is disconnected data. So this is where basically, say, an organization is behind on their digital transformation, for example. And what we found here is that these organizations normally have lots of data silos, and the technology behind it can be a bit lacking or even outdated. And obviously, with data being transferred from the on-premise services to the cloud, it can be, sorry guys, the chat is killing me. I'm going to switch it off. That helps because that definitely helps with my nerves. So thank you. So as I was saying, we can have disconnected data sources, and where we find organization was a bit behind on their digital transformation, we find that we normally have lots of data silos behind the technology. Okay, we've got lack of flexibility, whereas there's a lot of human effort that's needed to create these SSR reports. You need a developer to create an SSRS report. They're not a part of the process, so they would have no clue. So it's not very easy. We also got user experience. As you can see, that's an example of an SSRS report. And to be honest, it doesn't look very, I don't know, it just doesn't look inviting. Yeah. So the solution that we found with the Power Platform is our friend, the Power BI. Look at the difference. As you can see, it's more engaging, it's more inviting. Okay. So we found that we've got improved user engagement. And what does that mean? We've got user adaptability within Power BI, which makes the data more attractive to some users. They want to use it more. We've got greater accessibility, where, for example, like the Power Platform is able to take organization legacy data and marry it with the new finance data without compromising the integrity of the data, and also the technology that's the Power Platform utilizes. You'll be able to surface your data anywhere on the web, on your mobile, or even on your desktop. We've got consistency in our data alignment, and also, again, the integrity of our data is kept. And another challenge, Latoya, screen. And this is something that I've recently discovered as well. Okay, so we've got a limited foreign exchange rate within finance and operations. So, for example, if we have a company like the Central European Bank, out of the box, we've got either 20 off the top of my head or 22 foreign exchange rates. So if they want to pull in their daily exchange rate, obviously there's going to be some geographical limitations, because 20 is just not enough for like a big trading company like the Central European Bank. Okay, ease of access to get these exchange rates is not very easy, because we're going to probably have to use something like an ISV. And I know there's Orlando that we can use, but then again, that is a subscription service that we're going to have to pay maybe like £500 a month. Okay, I think okay, cool. So the solution that we found on the Power Platform is Power Automate, which gives us improved flexibility. And also we've got increased exchange rates in using Power Automate. Okay, in the sense of we create a flow, and obviously if we want to use that for daily or monthly, we create a trigger for that. It's going to interrogate the web service, pull those in, and push that through the finance connector and update the table within finance and operations. Okay, we've got a accuracy of conversion rate, because there's no middleman. It's coming straight from the web service and just be pushed through and update our table within Ethanol. Now I am going to hand back over to Latoya, who will be showing us some of the key takeaways and best practices for user adoption on the Power Platform. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Tanique. I guess lots of people are moderating on the chat as we go along. All right, so Tanique identified some challenges and recommendations for us, and how the role the Power Platform can play. So let's have a look right now at some of the takeaways, what we can learn from that. So here we've got how to get value from your Power Platform, implementation. As Tanique pointed out, the Power Platform can aid in improved user engagement. Quite simply, if we don't run before we can walk. And what that means is that we help our users to grow into the change, meaning we don't have to give them everything at once. And then we also have to understand, that training is not, isn't the only solution. Another thing that the Power Platform can do for us is that it also helps us to, have improved flexibility, for the user. And this is where we actually leverage the best tools. Think, do I have the right tool for my business, for the purpose or the objective? Is it to fix a back office pain point or a customer facing issue? What is it to do really? Is it to revamp in-house procedures? Are we looking at providing a single source of the truth, and for whom? So just a few questions, we should encourage our clients to ask when we're going to be doing an implementation and when we need to think about what user adoption, should entail. Last, but by no means least, we need to know the audience, know and understand the audience. This image here is simply saying to us that user adoption increases as we identify the value. So we identify what's in it for them, and ease of use. So how flexible is it? How accessible is it? How adaptable it is, over a period of time with the new technology. So, sorry about that. So what I'm actually saying here is, let's consider how we're going to put things in place, for user adoption and the role that each individual needs to play with the adoption of it. All right, to summarize, I'm going to identify, some of the key factors, that affect the ROI and the successful implementation of the project. So earlier on in the presentation, I had said that the return on investment of adoption is the return on investment of the project. So the key factors that we need to understand, and these are human factors. The first one of them from a change management perspective, is the speed of adoption. What does that mean? Yeah, it means how quickly are people up and running on the new systems, the new processes, and the job roles. Have we explained it properly? Are people getting in and out of the system as, they had hoped to? Are the expectations met? The second is ultimate utilization. How many employees of the entire business population, are demonstrating buy-in, meaning, they're on board, they're getting with it, they're proving themselves to be advocates of the new technology. And not only have they bought in, but they're actually using the new solution. The third is, of course, proficiency. How well are individuals performing compared to the level expected in the design of the change? Yeah. And so here we've got this graph, and it actually shows that, when we've got, effective change management, it actually, decreases the uncertainty associated with the impact of change on the people. So these are just, a few key questions to ask when considering strategies for a sustained user adoption. And I want to remind you that adoption is when a new user becomes accustomed to and decides to keep on using a new technology until it becomes a habit. And that means that, based on what we've presented here, the Power Platform superhero, as Tanique likes to, call it when referring to it with her kids, is that it can play its part in getting that user adoption, increased and sustained over time. No, we've got time. So just want to say a big thank you for your attention. And we're now open to questions if you've got them in the chat.
Thank you.
Right. And guys, if we can all come off mute for a moment and just start with a round of applause. Great talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, we'll open the floor up for questions. There's no hands up just yet. So whilst you're coming up with your questions, I was wondering if you could expand on the phrases used about sort of, don't run before you can walk. What did you find were successful strategies to use to kind of get people started on the Power Platform journey?
I picked that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of strategies to get them on the Power Platform journey, it's, actually take the time to demonstrate and explain. People don't necessarily resist change. What they resist is that it's being done to them, right? So it's to actually communicate the value that they can have from the use of the Power Platform. That's one thing that we've identified. Power Objects is up and running a lot on the the Power Platform. Tanique is working on that a lot. And what is working is that, she's actually taking the time to kind of like customize the learning, for the business, for the different clients. So she's taking the time to listen to what they say they want, even though sometimes they might not know how to explain it, but she actually also gets the opportunity to demonstrate what his, the benefits that they can get from the Power Platform. And then that collaboration, not just with how it will affect one group or one, department, but showing how, whether it be from the back end or from the front end, whether it be from head office or those out in the field, how it will affect everybody and the input and role that everybody plays. So it's that community of learning and growth that the Power Platform, provides to F&O projects, because, one area in F&O can impact on another one. One module impacts on the other. Everybody plays a part. So that's it.
Okay, great. Matt, you've got your hand up.
Yeah.
I do. Firstly, that was a fantastic presentation. So well done.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're trembling.
Literally.
I'm going to butter you up first and then hit you with a hard question. So it's kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
So my question is, I've gone through a lot of projects, and you kind of you see the similar sort of like people in each project. So my question is, when you come up against that detractor, that one person that is kind of set in their ways, they're being forced into this user adoption, they're not really given an option, that they have that sort of like, well, I used to do it this way and it was 2 clicks and now it's 3 clicks and that sort of thing. Do you tend to tackle those sorts of people head on, and as you're kind of saying, talk to them and listen to them and understand where they're coming from? Do you kind of tackle them head on, or do you kind of do it more via osmosis? Whereas, get the people around them to start getting that buy-in and get the people around them to become more advocates of it, and it kind of just filters down to everyone? Because I've kind of tried both and I'm still not sure which one works better.
Change is a funny thing. And as you were putting forward the question, what came to me was, like every year we all make resolutions, yeah? And we want to lose weight and we want to do this and we want to do that. And then when the harsh reality of it hits us, we go through different stages of guilt and resentment and, oh, damn it, man, why is it they want us, to go do that and that sort of thing. So we go through different forms of emotions, and then maybe if at the end of the month, the scale says we have lost like 0.5 of a pound, we're super happy, and it's like, yeah, shit, it worked, right? It's going to be the same thing for the implementations where, okay, we're going to have that person that is resistant to the change, but we need to understand why. And sometimes when we're running a business, we don't really have the time to understand the why, but we have to also understand that people make up your business. Your business is 4 walls or, whatever else, right? But the people make up the business. And so what that means is that, yeah, okay, up front, he's resistant. Maybe deep down, he's dying to learn, that new skill. It's just for you to find the way of how to communicate that value that the implementation will bring to him. And whether you use somebody that's close to him that can be like a spy for you, and that is where, the change network comes in, because the change network is actually going to be the 007 of you, that kind of like Robin and Batman type of collaboration, or Alfred and what is it, Batman or whatever. Alfred knows ahead of time the technology that Batman needs. You know, he knows ahead of time the meals, and so you need to find that person that can speak the language of that person that is resistant to the change. Yeah. And it's just a matter of aligning that and then bringing him on board to say whatever you have to say is also valuable, because your story is just as important as the rest. Yeah. It's not easy. Did I answer the question?
Yeah. I think you did pretty well, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions, guys? Last chance? No? Okay. Well, in that case, thank you again, ladies. And I'll hand over now to Andrew. 11 times an MVP, currently development architect with Hitachi over in the US. And we're going to talk about PCF controls. Not that I had to look it up, but Power Apps Component Framework Controls. I hope you were going to explain that, but over to you, Andrew.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Let me share slides. This for those who do not know who am I. This is information about myself, and let me. Yeah, of course, I'm telling like I'm sharing something, but I'm not. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen.
I've been in meeting after meeting doing that today, forgetting to share my screen, so don't worry.
Okay, so let's start. Oh, that sucks. Let me share the other screen. Sorry for that. Yes, that is the right one. Now. Okay, finally, it took only a gazillion of years. So this is the very first slide. It describes who am I. So my name is Andrew Butenko. I'm a technical architect working for Hitachi Solutions America. And the kind of accent that you are currently that you hear, it's in the place where I live now. It's called the Southern accent. Kidding, I'm not originally from the US. I grew up, I was born and grew up in Ukraine and moved to the US around 4 years ago. Joined this wonderful company, working for it, and I'm really happy to be here. And today I got the invitation from Joe, who is absent today, to present the session for you. And today I will talk about the PCF controls that you can use in your projects. And this is not a technical session. I will not open any Visual Studio. I will just show the controls that you can start using just right now after the end of the presentation, if you see any use case that is relevant in your projects. At the screen, you can see my social media, my Twitter, my blog, my GitHub account, my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and my LinkedIn. So I'm usually, if you are not HR, I'm replying the requests on the LinkedIn, so feel free to get in touch. And let's start rolling. And because, you know, I'm developer, I'm not so good in presentation, so if the presentation will look awful, yeah, you can blame me, of course, because I don't like, my code is much better than my presentation. So let's start. And I will start from controls that were brought to the platform by Microsoft. And if you would say, there's control command, I've seen it 100 times. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the control. Just type it in the chat. I will postpone the control and I will continue because we have a lot of. I delivered that presentation during 45 minutes, but today, as far as Joe told me, I have around 30, so I will try to be fast, but I will try not to lose anything. So let me show all the controls that I will demonstrate because it's the very first slide. So phone formatting, text field autocomplete, for component control, editable grid, and calendar control. If you don't like, if you know everything about any of controls, just write which of controls is not interested in, and while you are hitting your keyboard, I will switch to my instance. Voila. I will open the chat. Oh. Okay, so it seems that I will talk about all of controls. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Form formatting control. So this is this one control. A lot of information that we are entering inside our CRM system. It's a lot of information that we can use to contact customers, either email, address, or phone. I remember before the PCF controls were available in the platform. Based on my memory, I myself built like 10 or even more different versions of those validations for the particular phone entering. And it's every single time it was like reinventing the wheel. Yeah, phone, I have the new format. Oh my God, I have to recode everything. I have to, again, look for the code somewhere, put it inside the web resource, and again and again and again and again and again. So, and when PCF hit the ground and we got the possibility to use that, Microsoft, as an example, I believe, provided that kind of control. And it's awesome because you have no need to write any code, but just change the type of the control and enter the mask to use. So you will not be able to enter, as you can see, I'm trying hard to type any symbols other than digits, and I cannot. But after I start hitting digits, phone is got entered, and it's valid. If you will try to enter something invalid like this, you will get an error. The old value will be restored, and you will have to enter the valid phone format, and that's pretty awesome. It's now we developers can concentrate on something really more interesting than just validation, stupid validation tasks that I remember I was getting since time of 4.0. My God, it's almost as worse as Ssrs that we mentioned before. Okay, text field autocomplete. And another one part, Microsoft provided the possibility to use the autocomplete feature for text fields. I believe you all remember we had the wonderful control back in Classic UI that was deprecated in Classic UI, and we got another one implementation. But in this case, in the case of the UCI, we had no possibility to write any single line of code, and there was only two possibilities to provide version for text autocomplete control. It was either the possibility to point to a view with an entity, and that entity was used as a source for autocomplete, or point to option set. Kind of possibilities are limited, and you can't get information from some kind of external source, but Microsoft gave that to us, and we have to rely on it if you want to use this functionality. And as an example, I used this address. I created, as you can see here, I created the countries entity, and I use it as a data source. If I will just click drop down, I will get the list of countries, but I can enter whatever I can here, whatever I want. And if I will start to enter UN, it will filter out the available values, and I can choose instead of just retyping. Okay, like it? Do not like it? I really would love to get some kind of feedback. Set plus, set minus, send it to the chat. I want to have some kind of back channel. Okay, let's move forward. form component control. It is relatively fresh. It is relatively fresh control that was introduced maybe just around a month ago, and it's really a cool thing. Just imagine you have like the record and you have the related record. Okay, to show information from the related record, from the parent record, let's say you have account and you have parent contact, okay, primary contact on the account. You had the possibility to show the information, but you had no chance to edit that information directly. And that control allows the possibility. So let's take a look on the form. We have the form of account, and we have John Doe as a primary contact for a particular account. And believe me or not, but this is the form that corresponds to John Doe, and I can edit that information directly from the record of account. So I can edit those two records at the same time. Instead of going to John Doe, enter information, changing, save it, I can do it in the same context. Perfect thing. It hit the ground around a month ago. Works fine as far as I can see. Let's move forward. I believe this control that you have already used in your implementation, but anyway, it's worth to mention, and it is editable grid control. So let me go back to the grid, and this is the standard boring grid that can be used mostly for showing the information. But if you want to have the possibility to change the data inline, you configure the control and choose editable grid. The layout is changed, and one more thing that is available is hierarchy. Now it is possible to group child records under the parent record. So in my case, I decided to use the parent-child relationship between accounts, so hierarchical thing. So I created the parent account Hitachi solutions, and we don't have this Hitachi solutions Greenville, but a separated account, but I created it just because I can. And all the data is editable, and it's possible to change that information inline without the need to go inside the record. Okay, let's go forward. And the next one, calendar control that I want to demonstrate is calendar control. Let's go to activities. Pretty standard, boring view. And Microsoft gave us the possibility to show that information like you are checking the information inside your Outlook, so in scheduled way. So let's open the calendar control. Let's tune the view and let's scroll down. As you can see, there is like I created two different activities, and if you want, it will show all the activities, selected activities, filter activities, or whatever. You can choose additional filters and go forth and back, navigate, and check information in that view that is really more representative than just a stupid plain grid. I really love this control, and when I've seen it, I really love it. One thing that I'm missing is just moving around the activities, how it is possible inside the standard Outlook. So it's possible to make it wider, to extend. It's possible to move it between and change the due dates, but it's not there. It's not there. And if I'm not mistaken, inside the PCF gallery that I will talk a bit later, such control is available, but I haven't played with it. Yes, Matt, I'm seeing your eyes. This control should be available over there, and I believe it's possible to play with that control. I will talk about that control. Okay, let's move further, and let me switch back to the presentation. Let me scroll that back, and the next page is I decided to split it into set of controls, and the next one is attachment controls. And I found 3 controls developed by following brilliant developers that had kind of similar functionality. The whole idea behind those controls is to show information from nodes in the most representative way, because when you are seeing this social feed, it's like file was added, but what is the file? Like the name of the file doesn't say anything to you. If you want to have some kind of other representation of the control, you can use one of those. Either attachment grid control, written by Ben Bartle and John. I'm really sorry if I will pronounce the name the wrong way. Hetherington. Another one, wonderful control, carousel control, developed by my MVP bro Ivan Fitsko, and another one, control attachment gallery control, developed by Alexander Alashin. This is my Ukrainian fellow, by the way. Because controls have pretty similar functionality, I decided to stop with the control of my Ukrainian fellow because it has some cool preview features that are not, as far as I know, not available in other controls. Let me open this attachment gallery form for the account. I uploaded 3 pieces of information as attachments to the 2 attachments, and this is 2 photos in 1 PDF file. If I will scroll, I see the content in line. This is the PDF, but if I will click on it, I will get the preview, and the whole information is shown just within the browser. You have no need to download, open, save it. It's shown in line. So wonderful controls with different functionality. Just take a look at it. It could be really useful. Okay, and we are reaching my baby boy. This is like a set of controls that I was working on. I spent a lot of time during my free time. I spent a lot of time on it, and today I want to demo the set of those controls, and those are Composite address control, the control that was available in wait a second, it was available since CRM 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and until 2016 8.2, and it was available in the classic interface of 9.0, but it didn't make it to the UCI. I decided to close this gap, and now it is available over there. But unfortunately, you have to install my controls toolkit to make it work. Address Autocomplete Control. So I remember I implemented like multiple versions of this thing. I decided, okay, we have the possibility to utilize PCF. Why not to? And I created an address Autocomplete Control, and today is basically the first demonstration because I managed to utilize lookups inside of it. Even Microsoft will say it is technically not supported. I made it work, and now like fields like country, city, state, you can bind those fields not only to strings, but you can use option sets, you can use lookups. So it's kind of complicated one. Let's go forward. Form map control. How is it different to the standard map control that we have inside Dynamics? The answer is really simple. Standard bin maps control has a lot of limitations. The very first one, you can use it only on specific entities. My control is not tied to it. You can use any entity and any form, and bind it to any set of fields if you want. Second one, out of box is tied to bin maps. Here, it's up to you to choose from 3 providers that are available at the moment, either Bing Map or Azure Maps or Google Maps. Use one of 3. I haven't implemented for others, but it's possible if I will have any free time soon. The next one, custom text autocomplete control. So I decided to avoid that gap that I already articulated specifically for the out-of-box autocomplete control. And I decided, you know, it's not enough. I want to have more control over this possibility of auto-completion. And I created a control that is possible to extend using external JavaScript, like check what we have inside the control as input and provide the feed according to it. It could be any kind of feed. It could be hard-coded list, it could be entity, it can be external endpoint if you can reach it. So whatever you want to use, you can use it. And I will provide the documentation on how to use that control inside your implementation and how to write the JavaScript. Dependent option set. Dependent option is a classic task, but we always had to write the code in order to implement it. I decided, do we need to do that? With PCF, no. I said no, and now all that is needed is to provide JSON of the dependent options, feed it to the control, and the control itself will do the rest. Let's go to the demonstration. Okay, I will start from the composite address control. Let me open this form. And as you can see, this is the control. And once I click it, I get the pop-up that we used to have inside the standard CRM. Whenever you are changing anything inside, it reflects the change, it formats the data. At the moment, the formatting is default, but because I wanted to have more control over the control itself, because now you not miss, just install my toolkit and you have it. Well, there were few gaps I did not like inside the out-of-box control that Microsoft gave us back in time. It was not possible to, in the normal way, to hide the field. It was not possible to reorder. Let's say, for example, in my country, in Ukraine, it was always pain in the back because our standard format, we are entering country, state, city, street. We have the opposite order, and it was not possible. My control with really small tweaks can do it. Instructions will be available and will be provided. Another one thing, stat format that was used for this particular field was never was under the control of the user. I decided to give it to developer because developer is responsible. So by default, it formats using the US format, but if you want to do it, you can override it. Come on, like it, don't like it? I really want to hear the feedback. Or see the feedback for people who is sharing the camera. Okay, let's move forward. Address autocomplete. Let's give it a time. Wake up. Yes, it's woke up, finally. Okay, now let me take this. Let me show how the autocomplete feature works. Let me start to create. I believe those people, I specifically looked up where you usually have your meetings before the pandemic times. And if I'm not mistaken and my records are correct, this is the 3 Hardman Street, Manchester. Is it the correct address? Is it the address that you usually used, right? And all the address are split into pieces and populated into corresponding fields. Not a stalker. I checked just yesterday. Okay, and this is the place on the map. It's the next piece that I will describe to you. And just for geolocation purposes, coordinates, latitude and longitude are stored in separate fields. It could be used afterwards, specifically for this map control. But let's say following. Okay, you know what? Bing map sucks. I want to use Google API for some case. Would it be hard to change it? I would say, really, no. Let me open apps. Let me go to this AB Controls toolkit setting that is shipped with, yes, I want to leave. That is shipped with my toolkit as a part of my toolkit. You have to open this record. Yeah, it sucks, really. And let's say I want to use something else. Let's say instead of Bing, I want to use Google Places. And for Google Places, I want to provide my API key because without it, it won't work. Let's save and close. And let's jump back to the demo app. Let's try to open, create new record one more time. So the address was, oh, wrong form. Let's switch to address autocomplete one. Okay, let's start 3 Hardman, it's Manchester, UK. Voila. We use Google Maps here, and autocomplete is like as an engine for autocomplete. I use Google Maps, Google Places API, generally speaking. Okay, that's pretty much it about address autocomplete control. Like the place is map is shown over here, but you can say, commanded, this is the standard account form. Can I use it in some custom entity? I will say yes, you can. Let's go to custom address entity. Save and close. Let's jump back to custom addresses. And let's try to create new. I will just enter some random address, doesn't matter. And as you can see, it works on custom entity as well. And one more thing, you can see it works with countries as well. So this piece, I think, work with lookups. This is the lookup, and autocomplete populate lookup fields as well. Let's move forward. I will not show custom text autocomplete control and dependent option set control because unfortunately Microsoft killed my test instances that I really wanted to show to you. So I won't, but just trust my word. It works. It freaking works. I spent a lot of time testing it. Let me switch to the next set of controls that I wanted to demonstrate. It's pretty much classic task of showing the end-to-end relationship in slightly friendlier way, let me put it that way. What controls do we have here? Control from Alice Schlegel end-to-end multi-select, control from Joshua Campbell tag picker grid component, and end-to-end checkboxes control from our savior from all those routines, from Tanguy Tuzard, the master of Xram toolbox. And without any additional words, let me show you controls. I won't say change. Let me open one of those. Just I created before for demonstration purposes. I created few tags that are available under tags entity. And I created end-to-end relationship between account and that's the tag entity. Let me switch to the form, and first I will demonstrate the control from Tanguy Tuzard text checkbox list. As you can see, we have the list of checkboxes rendered over here according to the list of the tax entities that are available in the instance. But be careful with it. If you will have gazillion, it will try to render gazillion records, and it could just blow up your form. So be careful with it. Cool thing about it, you have no need to click anything to save anything. Once this is checked and this is refreshed, the record is created. Once this is unchecked and you refresh, the record is removed. So it works immediately. And based on pretty similar principles, the tax end-to-end control is working. Instead of like adding existing tag, going through all that routine dialog, you can just click here, choose, done, drop it, done. It's immediate. Like the changes are applied immediately, and that is awesome. I really love it. And I completely forgot to mention that I can demonstrate the autocomplete control. Let me open this one. It's one of control from toolkit that I developed. So this is the custom control actually. You will not see any much difference between this and that. But if you will start typing, it will start providing the type hat values that are passed inside here from the code. I hard-coded the whole list of countries inside the JSON object, and I do the autocomplete using it. Okay, so I believe that's pretty much it. I hope I haven't crossed the quota that I have. So let's go for questions.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, just come off mute or put your hand up. One thing I want to ask is if we could all give Andrew a round of applause for that presentation, please.
Thank you.
If nothing else, you kind of blew my mind a little bit with a lot of those controls, especially the Google Maps one. Because that Bing Maps is just rubbish. It's just not nice. And even like I said in the chat as well, the putting Bing Maps on custom entities is not possible without development. So using PCF control like that is taking it to the next level. So, do we have any questions for Andrew, or is everyone just stunned into silence?
Stunned into silence.
Agreed.
Andrew, are all of those available in your toolkit, or is it just are they separately available? Is there one package that would download all of them?
It is available as one package, and I believe that I missed one slide. And thank you for Ivan. Thank you for posting the PCF gallery. You took a piece of my bread a bit, but I'm not jealous. So actually, this is the slide that I wanted to demonstrate before the question. So this is URLs to check. The very first one, HTTPS PCF gallery. This is the gallery that contains pretty much all the control that I described, except the My Toolkit. This is the URL by which you can download the control with toolkit with the controls, and it is shipped as just one solution, so no need to take from different places. Just download the solution, install. It's managed. Don't like it? didn't like it for some reason, don't blame you. Just uninstall it, no traces. And the third one, if you have any questions related to development of PCF controls or something like that, this is the forum. This is a forum to ask question, to ask for help. And I know a lot of people there. They are providing really good support if you have any problems related to PCF controls, PCF toolkits, and development of PCF. I know that Ivan is there. I'm answering time to time there. So if you have any problems, any questions, you can go there. All other controls are available in PCF gallery in separated pieces. I decided not to split all the controls. I decided to ship it in one package. So I hope, Eddie, it answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Cheers.
Okay. Then, if you have no more questions, one more time, my social media and my, I hope, pretty face.
Thank you very much, Andrew. That was very informative. It's always hard to stay on top of all the new PCF controls, because if you look at the gallery, there's just more and more being added by the week. So that's given me a bunch that I want to play with now. So I think I'll be downloading your solution and installing it. So thank you very much.
Just give it some time, because the version that I demonstrated today, it is not available yet. I polished the code and I finished testing what I have to do, and I usually suck in it. This is the writing of the documentation button. This time I decided I'm old enough to build the solid project that contains the documentation, and not only the freaking source code that you have to read to figure out how it works.
Documentation is always the worst part of any project. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I put something on GitHub and I was just there like, I'm just gonna write 4 lines of documentation, just install solution. If you don't know how to do that, you shouldn't be installing it. So that was my documentation. So thank you. I dropped the link in the chat for the feedback form. We would appreciate the feedback, both for our UG and also for the speakers as well, so they can find out if you enjoyed the talks and what you liked about them. And if you did enjoy the talks, I don't think there'd be anyone like that. We also have the part-timer Joe Griffin's joined us back. And yeah, sorry. So I've had a great night tonight. I think the speakers have been fantastic. Presentations have been fantastic. And as always, we'd like to do these things again. So we're looking at maybe our next event being March and April, probably still virtual because of obvious things. And if you want to speak, let us know. We would love to get some new speakers in. We're always looking for new speakers to come in and talk about something. If you have a passion, if there's something you want to talk about, if you've never spoken before and you're a little bit nervous, let us know. We can help you with all these things. We just always want cool and interesting topics from people with different points of view that we may not necessarily have. So that's one thing we're always looking for. If you're around tomorrow night, there is the Bespoke Badger. We used to do these things on Thursdays, but we did it on a Wednesday. The Bespoke Badger is not open tonight, but it's a virtual pub. If you would like to attend, you can go to the Virtual Events Hub tomorrow night from about 6:37. Badger. And you can just hang out with a bunch of people and just chat about life. Most of us are there every week. As said, there is the QR link if you want that to get to the feedback for today. But if I could just ask one more time, if everyone can come off mute and give all 3 of our speakers a big round of applause, that would be fantastic. And unless there's any more questions or people just want to chill for a bit, we will leave you to your evening and you can go off and do whatever it is you do in the evenings.
It is not evening for me, unfortunately. It is like 2:30 in my, so I will have to get back to Visual Studio and write something.
Carry on working. It's not good for some.
Thank you guys for having Tanique and myself.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We really enjoyed the talk. Well, I really enjoyed the talk. I'm not speak for my. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you both for giving up your time for this tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
expecting.
thank you for having me as well.
Oh, yeah, thank you. It's always a pleasure for you, Andrew. Everyone that I spoke to, and we said, "Oh, Andrew's talking at our UG," they're all like, "How did you get Andrew Butenko to come and speak at your UG? He's like a legend." I was like, "Well, we know people. We have friends in common." So, yeah.
Okay, I'll stop the recording now, shall I?